Planting 12 new fruit trees, which brings us to a total of 30 and 15 full companion guilds. It's hard to believe this system's already 5 years old. Let's walk through what we're planting, what it's doing for the land, and what's in store for the future. Alright, we got our fruit trees. I believe I ordered 10 of them this year. That'll put us up to 30. So go ahead and get these home and get them ready for transplant. But all in all, it's a super easy experience. Again, this is Cummings Nursery. I've got my trees here for the past, I think this is the 5th season we've done it, and they do a great job. You know, as you can see, you get what you pay for. They're not cheap, but they're super high quality trees, and the process couldn't be any easier. Again, it's Cummings Nursery, Trumansburg, New York. All right, we'll see you back at home. Since we moved to this property, each year we've gotten more and more fruit trees. This year is pretty much the last of our installment as far as this orchard's concerned. We're going to be sitting at about 30 fruit trees altogether in this space, and then throughout the property there's various other fruit trees, you know, mostly as landscaping and wildlife. So today I'm getting kind of a late start, but I'm going to lay out where the remainder of these fruit trees are going. I've got 5 in one row and then 4 in another. The way this is set up is kind of like a permaculture style or a guild. So there's a fruit tree, bushes, that could be blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, hascap, anything like that. And then you're doing a smaller ground cover. So Egyptian walking onions, chives, what else we got in there? Some calendula, some just random flowers and things like that. So what we're gonna do today is lay out the remainder of the fruit trees so I can go ahead and get started on those holes. And we like to dig, you know, a bushel size basket hole, so it's gonna take me a little bit. Got pretty rocky soil in this area, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this. We got as you can see, we've got some potentially rain coming this way. So yesterday we had some good rain as well. Ground's a little softer, but I want to try to get these fruit trees in before they bud out. All right, let's get rolling. So with the spacing on these trees, it kind of depends on what rootstock you have. With these particular rootstocks, we're going 8-foot spacing on the trees, interplanting with bushes and ground cover. So we started this orchard, like I said, about 5 years ago. And some of the trees look great. Others were replanted from die off from disease or whatever. They just didn't do well here. This is my son's tree on his first birthday that we planted. Let me flip you around here. It's pretty good. I'm about 5'10", so that's grown pretty well. That one and this one right here is an Enterprise. That's probably our best tree. This is our first row that we planted here, and that's doing really well. As you can see, blackberries look really good, and then you've got some other stuff like thyme, oregano, and just basically have some herbs scattered throughout, some blueberry bushes. So that's how we've got this structured. Right now is 3 rows. Like I said, 8-foot spacing, 16 foot between the rows for these particular rootstocks. And then on the outside, we have peach trees. The way those were explained to me, peach trees are kind of like weed trees, high die off, and they're very susceptible to diseases. We try to get disease resistant rootstocks. and cold hardy stuff. We're in zone 5. We try to do what we can there, but I put these kind of separate away from the apple trees, and they have their own row. Spacing on these I think is 20 feet. So I've got 5, and these last 2 had peach leaf curl last year. So we'll see how they make out. This is probably the best one, and that had it survived. This one did not. We're adding a mix of apples, pears, and peaches today. Different cultivars and different rootstocks. Some are grafted to M111 for drought resistance, a few on B9 for tighter rows. Diversity keeps this system resilient, different bloom times, different disease pressures, and a wider harvest window. Lay this out here, and then I'm going to cross-reference so I'm straight here. I know these rows are straight because I squared them up originally. This kind of has, I had blueberry and raspberry bushes in here. I took them out and interplanted because I didn't know much about permaculture, orchards and stuff. So, I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but we've been following Steven Skobiak's permaculture orchard model out of Quebec. His approach, focused on polyculture, low spray or no spray, and thoughtful plant layering, has been a big influence on how we laid this out. Okay, so we're all laid out. I'm gonna go ahead and get digging. As you can see, they're laid out by the spray paint. I just put dots where I need these holes to go. I'm gonna dig all the holes first and then come back and plant all at once. I've got to get some topsoil to backfill. Like I said before, we got some rocks in this area, so where those voids are, I need to fill that up with some good soil and compost. So I'm gonna go ahead and get digging. I'll probably do a couple today. It's getting late in the day. Got a late start on this. We were doing other things, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this, and I'll check back in later. You gotta dig about a bushel size hole, so take the center of it, go about 8 inches either side, and I figure a bushel's about 16 by 16, so it's a pretty decent size hole. Ground's not too bad. And again, this is top layer here, so this is all gonna have to be filled in with some good soil. Our dirt's getting better here. Decent layer of topsoil, that's pretty good. Put an auger on the back of my 3-point and just be done with it, but you know, there's something to be said for digging these by hand. I enjoy it. To some extent. But excuse me. Yeah, roughly 16 inches, and we're on a slope, so that downhill side's a little deeper. That's good. That's one down. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these done. Probably just throw a quick time lapse up. Finish the rest of these. I got 4 in this row, like I mentioned, and 5 in the other. Whew. Okay. That hole's probably the worst. Had the worst soil too. Real rocky, clay at the bottom. Way different soil composition than that stuff there. If you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would have had 30 fruit trees, I'd say you're crazy. We started off with 5 and I was gonna call it good there. And then I got thinking, you know, we're not really using this land as we should. Yeah, if we have abundance, that's perfectly fine with me. Family and friends, come on over, help yourself. All right, it's after dinner. We're gonna go ahead and just have a little bit of fun. It's enough work for today.
I gotcha!
Laney, Sadney, Stuya. Yes.
Charlie, let go and
Okay, so it's a couple days later. We had a pretty nasty little weather event last couple days. Winter decided it wasn't done yet, so finally got back out here today. Dug the rest of these 5 holes in addition to these other 4. So I've got nine trees to plant right now, and then like I said before, this peach tree is dead, so I got to dig this back up, and then I'm gonna put the last peach tree in there. We're gonna use that permaculture method, like I said, try to build some guilds. For example, I'll show you here. This is a peach tree. It's an Asian pear. Excuse me. It's a pear tree. It's an Asian pear. I believe it's a Hosui. The tag fell off, but I think it's a Hosui pear. So what I'm gonna do, I don't have a nitrogen. You're supposed to go NAP, so nitrogen, apple, pear. But what I'm gonna do here is go pear, apple, pear, apple, pear, apple. I'm gonna stagger, you know, every other tree to hopefully, you know, I don't know if disease is gonna be less prevalent that way, but we're gonna try to do what we can to mitigate that. I've lost quite a few trees over the last couple of years for one reason or another. Okay, so these are our trees. Like I mentioned before, we have 10 of them. These trees are from Cummings Nursery. Got different varieties, different rootstocks, mostly semi-dwarf. We try to keep along the same rootstocks. We're not specific to one or the other. Most of these are G969s, MM111s, or let's see, what's this other one that we have? Is it 214, I think? Yeah, G214. So they're all mainly semi-dwarf rootstocks. And then lastly, we're going to backfill these holes with some amendments. This is Cuga Compost. It's a local company across the way. We try to, you know, do what we can as far as local resources are concerned. So this is an amendment compost. I don't believe it has a fungi in it. It's just natural compost. So we're gonna mix this in with some of the soil that came with the holes. That way we're gonna kind of blend it together, give the trees a good start. And then, you know, like I mentioned before, our soil is very rocky, so it's gonna leave a ton of voids, and you're not gonna have enough soil to backfill the hole. It would make sense, you got some soil to backfill, soil in, soil out, but you're gonna come up short. Trust me, I learned the hard way. But I'm gonna at least give these trees a fighting chance. You know, obviously I've spent some energy, time, and money, you know, with the fence. That was in addition this past fall. We usually use that black, I forget what it's called, but basically it's black netting, keeps deer out. Well, the deer would just run right into it, knock it over, and break it in two. Get a heavy snow load, fence is down, T-posts are bent. It's no good. So We went ahead and invested in the Premier One quick fence. It's the deer netting. It's 60 inches tall, and then we offset that with the tape about 3 feet, and that's another no, excuse me, this netting is 5 feet, the tape is at 6 feet, so it gives that 3D fence illusion, and it's high enough up off the ground. If we get some snow, it's not going to ground out. Worked really well. I don't think we had a single deer in here all year. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and start sinking trees. I'll show a couple, obviously in the sake of time. Once you see one, you're going to see them all. All right, let's get rolling. All right, so the first up is, it's a pear variety, AC Harold Gold. These are obviously bare root trees. So you want to plant these. Gold Rush, good job. So you want to plant these so your graft union is 3 to 5 inches above the soil. That'll just create a healthy environment, basically where this water line is. So this one root I got to trim back just a scooch, and then backfill a little bit. I went too deep with a hole, but that's okay. So I'm going to backfill, tamp it, put a little water in it, let it seep through, and then add some more soil, tamp it again, top it off, and water it one more time through. Got it right there.
I'm gonna help that.
Okay, stop it now.
I can be proud.
Oh, you got shoes on?
It's okay, because I can dry on my knees. You can't.
Okay, here we go.
Stop.
Let me see your shovel, please.
Stop, Duckling. Duckling. Don't you dare
Okay.
put me in there.
Okay, guys, be careful. Wait. So you got to make sure that's straight up and down. Now you got to do the heel stomp.
Here, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get food.
Okay. On these pears and peaches, stone fruit in general, I don't snip them right off the bat. I'll wait and then do it. But these other ones, I'll go ahead and knock down right to 30 inches. So this one here is on a semi-dwarf rootstock. It's a crimson topaz, roughly 30 inches. Sometimes they tape it here. I usually go a node higher. So yeah, it pains you to do this. Brand new tree, it's this high already. Snip it right off the top. So what this does is encourage branching, encourage growth. The side shoots I take right down to 3/4 of an inch. Throw them in the path there. A lot of people say you don't do that, but I come by with a flail mower, take the flail mower, mulch everything right up. So that's now 30 inches high, and get that growing out. What that looks like in a matter of 3 to 4 years. I'll show you a good example of that. It was on my Enterprise. Probably my favorite tree. Right here. So you take that heading cut, and then in 3 to 4 years, you're left with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these sunk in the ground, finish the rest of these out. You guys have seen one, pretty much gonna see them all. I'll catch back up with the end of it and wrap this up. This is gonna be soft because we already planted this one. Remember? It's dead. Okay, so that's all you gotta do. You're trying to, there you go. Now just keep going around in a circle.
turned the camera on. You didn't turn it off as I did. Turn it off, Declan. No, it's fine. Stop it.
I know that you're curious, I know that you're strong, but life can be furious and things can go wrong. You go, we're better off tomorrow, but who knows if we get joy or sorrow.
All right, we just finished up. I forgot I had lighting stuff there. I forgot I had 2 extra trees that I ordered for wildlife plantings. So I had 12 trees total, which I forgot about those 2. So we got the 10 in over here that we were planning on. 1 peach, 1, 2, 2 pears, excuse me, 3 pears, and 6 apples, all of which are semi-dwarf, semi-standard varieties. Semi-dwarf rootstocks. The varieties are kind of ones that we chose for disease resistance, cold hardiness, somewhat heirloom. Yeah, that's ideal, but I'm not super sold on that. Sometimes the hybrid vigors are better, you know. So we got all these in. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and water. I ran my hose. It's a decent day out, so I was able to run my hose out here, and I'm going to get all these watered up. And then tomorrow I'm going to come back out, give them one last tamp, and that should set them up for success for the rest of the year. Saturday's supposed to be in the mid 70s, and we're supposed to get a decent amount of rain, so couldn't ask for anything more. Timed it just right. So I'm going to go ahead and get these watered up.
It takes a bit of suffering, sleepless nights and wondering before you make it safely to the end, the end, the end. And if you ever wonder, there is nothing wrong with a little thunder. There's things in life you simply need to know about sun and rain and trust in letting go. It takes a bit of suffering, sleepless nights and wandering before you make it safely to the end, the end. There's things in life you simply need to know about sun and rain and trust in letting go. It takes a bit of suffering, sleepless nights and wandering before you make.
All right, that wraps it up for 2025 tree planting. Hopefully this permaculture orchard provides food for our family for generations to come. That's the whole idea behind this, is to provide food year after year after year. Sure, you got to give it a little bit of attention every now and then, but it's not, you know, right at the home base. You know, we try to wood chip everything to cut down on weeds and promote the tree growth, but hopefully, you know, for generations to come, my kids, my grandkids, their kids, they get to enjoy this, and the fruits of our labor will pay dividends. So that's where we're going to end today's video. Please like and subscribe. Helps us, you know, share the journey. So thank you if you've made it this far. Much appreciated. Later.